All right, everyone. Welcome back to Horseman Comics and Gaming. We've got some extra modern coverage for you this evening. We have Jimmy Nuts, our former professional wrestling world champion, and versus Bob Levdansky. Infect versus Jund. They're going to Game 3. Stuff looks all sorts of jacked up because I can't start things properly.
Here we go.
And we're going to let them know that we're going to go ahead and get this started.
So Jimmy's going to lead off with Gataxian Probe. You know, currently a very disputed card in Modern. People want this card out of the format because it's a free draw. I mean, granted, it's not completely free because you have to pay 2 life, but I mean, it is a free draw, and there's a lot of controversy over this card right now.
Yes, like extra gum. That's how much type of extra magic we got going on. So, Bob reveals quite the hand, actually.
Yeah, that's pretty solid to start out against Infect. But, I mean, these players are in Game 3, though. It means Infect has pulled out a game, and so has Jund. People don't think that Infect can have interactive matchups, but I think this one could prove to be very, very interesting. That is a Kitchen Finks from Jimmy.
So
he may just be playing on that route too. But it looks like the only Infect creature is the Inkmoth Nexus.
So this was
met by a Terminate.
Was this a fetch land? Bob knows against Infect, your life does not matter really.
Right. You're essentially, you can do whatever you want. And we have that little poison counter for you there. Jimmy's choice is a Coughing by RK Post. If you guys have not checked out his tokens, check out his website. It's awesome.
Yeah, he puts out a lot of quality product, and I'm quite happy with some of the stuff that I've picked up from him in the past. One of my favorite artists in all of Magic.
So, do you think? So it looks like Jimmy's turn too. I don't think he has anything to. He's maybe thinking about. He's probably gonna fetch here and maybe swing with the Ink Bomb next. Try to get that first poison in play.
Yeah.
Bob, do you worry about the Kitchen Finks?
Maybe a little bit, just because your plan is to get them dead real quick. So.
But like, if you look at life total, it's a 5-turn clock if it's unmet.
Oh, so here's a Glistener Elf.
Oh. So, okay, so we have 2 Infect threats.
Which is basically what you want as the Infect player.
And it's good here because, I mean, Bob needs to use his Duress, even though I think he's going to drop Dark Confidant here. Because Jimmy has access to put
Become Immense in
real
quick.
Yeah, he has the Inkmoth and the Glistener up online with his land in his hand this turn.
Right.
Which means that he can swing both of them, and whichever Bob doesn't terminate is going to get pumped.
Exactly. And he's going to take a lot of Infect. So actually, he's just going to go Gari Charm away the Glistener off. Well, so...
I mean, it's a little greedy. I mean, if Jimmy draws like a Might, this game's over.
Yeah, that's really true.
Well, not necessarily, sorry. He needs another land to be able to Might become Immense. But, I mean, Jimmy already has the yard full enough to be able to become Immense.
So, if you notice next to Bob's name, he's got the record 200. That last O is where I'm going to put the Infect counters that are going to go on to, just in case you can't see the die really that well.
Looks like Jimmy is going to fetch.
Is he going? Okay, so he's just going to get the
forest. I think we're just going to see a Kitchen Finks here. Get some life back up and start applying pressure to Bob. Make him decide whether or not he wants to.
Because that's basically it's a 2-for-1 against Bob.
Right.
So.
I mean, that Terminate's got to wait for the Inkmoth Nexus. I mean, it can't take out the Kitchen Finks.
Right.
And it's going to feel bad if your Bob has to block the Kitchen Finks.
Well, actually.
No, he's getting in there.
Jimmy's going in.
I think.
And
he wants 7. He's like, we're making it 7 right now. Because now, you know what? This makes sense. It renders the Duress useless, makes the Kitchen Finks fine. Bob's at 12. I mean, Finks is still a 4-turn clock.
Yep, and then as noted, Bob's at 7 Infect there. So that way you guys can also see, besides just the dice, one of these days we'll have a cool...
I mean, if you're Bob, let's see, he's got another Dark Confidant in the hand that's not revealed. I mean, you can't play anything.
Right, so I think you just go here straight for the Kitchen Finks this next turn.
Right.
Because you don't want your Inkmoth Nexus to die to a Terminate, and then you can't play your Kitchen Finks.
Right.
So I think you have to play the Kitchen Finks.
And I think Jimmy's going to realize that too and play it as well.
Unless Jimmy has another land and like a Blossoming Defense or something.
Oh, see, Infect usually always does, so.
Yeah, they always have it, right?
Yeah.
Or he doesn't even need the land. He just needs to fire it up, attack, and then okay, well, I've got Blossoming Defense.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's where Bob has to be careful too, because this Kitchen Finks is a 3/2.
Right.
So eventually, he's got to play a Dark Confidant or this Terminate to get something off the board, but he can't even Terminate the Finks, because, I mean...
Exactly.
But he can use the Bob as a blocker, but if he does that, he just dies to the Inkmoth Nexus. I think Jimmy has lined this game up very well to make it difficult on Bob when even Bob had a great opening hand.
So looks like we're just going for another Glistener Elf.
Yeah.
So
seems all right.
He's just going to pass the turn back. So now Bob's kind of reduced to, do I just kill this now? He's just going to let it live.
Bob really needs something to interact with both boards. Liliana's Veil doesn't really do anything.
So actually what he needs to find is a 4th land and then his Knight of Souls Betrayal.
There's an Inquisition. That's going to at least take care of the Kitchen Finks.
Right.
And Jimmy knows it too.
He may be a little bit upset about it. So
could this be a Spell Pierce?
He's going to Vines.
I don't know if I agree with it.
Okay. Yeah, I don't agree with that either. I think I would have just let him...
If you're Bob, do you take the Vines?
No. Not at all. Because now he's purely on reactive.
Oh, I don't agree with that play from Bob, though. That's just asking to lose to a top deck.
Right. Did Jimmy
that's
draw
what
it?
it's going to do. I mean, Jimmy's very fast if he has it. Nope, that's going to be a land. That's fine that this Inkmoth is going to crash in for 1 still.
Yep, and it's going to bring it up. You probably just swing with both here, right?
I don't know if you swing with both, because now you have access to mana to be able to Terminate, and so that's going to be tough. So now Bob's got access to 2 Terminate, so I don't see him tapping out anytime soon.
Right.
It's that's why Dark Confidant is just always great. But, I mean, all Jimmy does need, though, is something to...
He just needs literally a Blossoming Defense. Do you block the Bob here? No?
No. I think...
Too early?
Oh, he's tapping out. Oh. That's going to be a tough one to beat.
And that's exactly what I said that he needed. He needed a land and a Knight of Souls Betrayal. And...
Jimmy can't win.
So now Jimmy is solely reliant on Kitchen Finks.
All right, at this point, so is Bob. Looking at his hand.
No, he's got Raging Ravine.
He does have Raging Ravine, but he needs that land.
He needs to find another land.
There's a bolt.
So Jimmy's at 12. I missed a point somewheres. That's fine.
This goes back to that Inquisition. Whether or not you Vines.
I really think that Jimmy should have played the Inkmoth or the Kitchen Finks instead of
the Glistener Elf.
The Glistener Elf.